Luke 23 is one of the gospel accounts of Jesus' crucifixion. Verse 46 states, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." And having said this, he breathed his last. So a couple of words there. First of all, that word cried. Jesus cried out with a loud voice. In the concordance is G5455, the Greek word phoneo. It means to cry out with a loud voice. The other is, when he said this, he breathed his last. So that expression, breathed his last, in the concordance is G1606, and it's the Greek word exponeo. It means to breathe one's last, to breathe hard. Jesus' life was not taken from him. Jesus sacrificed his life. He chose to die, and he chose when to die. Now, it's not spoken about a lot, but crucifixion was the most horrible, painful, agonizing method to kill a person. And that's what his crucifixion was: agonizing, piercing torture. It was death by suffocation. I worked for over 20 years as an emergency medical technician and as a ski patrol. I've seen a lot of ways that people hurt and suffer, but nothing I've ever seen is quite like not being able to breathe. It's horrifying. But Jesus endured that. Now, another thing about crucifixion, John 19 tells us that as he hung on the cross, one of the last things they did to him was one of the Roman soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and blood and water came out of the wound. He bled blood and water because his lungs were filling up with blood and water, and it was suffocating him. But even then, even in all that agony, it wasn't until he knew he had fulfilled all that was prophesied that he surrendered to death. Again, John 19 says, Jesus declared, "It is finished." He bowed his head and he gave up his spirit. Again, Jesus was not defeated by death. He not only chose to die, but he chose how to die and when to die. 1 Corinthians 15 tells us, "Oh, death, where is your victory? Death, where is your sting?" Satan did not defeat Jesus on the cross. Satan did not kill Jesus. Jesus chose when to die. His death on the cross was not surrender to the hand of Satan, but it was his choice out of his love for us that he would die for us on that cross so that we might have life eternal. Thank you, Jesus, for your sacrifice.